I imagine that's how she would feel if she's doing a stream like predictions, like we're gonna get into these predictions. Listen, that lady was crazy. She was absolutely ridiculous. Some people are saying she's a plant. I don't think she's a plant. I think she's just a really, really good fan. And you guys got to stop with the scripted stuff and the plants and all that garbage because you're still going to watch it anyways. But anyways, we're getting into the predictions for week 7, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting into the predictions tonight. It's going to be about 20-minute video, 30-minute video max. But yeah, we're going to get into it tonight. I didn't want to wait till tomorrow because we got Thursday Night Football. And you guys know I will be streaming tomorrow, Thursday night game. Your Jags, your Saints. Yes, we're going to get into that tomorrow night. So make sure that you do subscribe if you have not already. That game will be streamed tomorrow night. Also, make sure you guys hit that like, that thumbs up. It is, of course, much, much appreciated as we get started. You know, you come over here, no fancy intros. We get right to the business. Right to the business. Shout out to the Wrench Gang. Shout out to the family as we get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, your week 7 predictions. And here we go. Starting off with the Jags and the Saints. Obviously, this is going to be tomorrow night. Thursday Night Football. It's going to be on Prime Video, but I will be streaming it. So make sure you lock it in. 8:15 is the time for kickoff, which, you know, it's never really 8:15. But there you go. All right, 57% for your Jags. 42.7% for the Saints. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence was injured. They're saying that he should be back and ready to go for tomorrow night. Yeah, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Carr, 1,300 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He was also injured. He should be back. Kamara's in, 199 yards, 1 touchdown. Olave, 414 yards, 1 touchdown. Kirk, 384 yards, 2 touchdowns. Getting into the injury report, Brandon Scherf, Tyson Campbell, Walker Little, Zay Jones. Getting into the Saints, James Hurst, Ryan Remzick, Landon Young, Jamal Williams, Juwan Johnson. Getting into your spread, ladies and gentlemen, the line is Saints by 1. Over-under is 40. Yeah, I mean, that just seems like an even line to me, but I'm going to go ahead and go Jags. I just feel like they have the better offense, the better defense. And it's definitely going to be, you know, a show as far as with whether or not Trevor Lawrence can go out there and be himself and fight through the injury. But I do think they should be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and take these Jags by 7. Jags by 7. There you go. Next up, going to get into your Raiders and your Bears. Raiders 3-3. Bears 1-5, 43.9%. It just caught me totally off guard that these Raiders are lower than the Bears. 55.7% for the Bears. Garoppolo with 1,079 yards, 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, but he is out. Hoyer will be in. Fields with 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Getting into the injury report, Justin Herron, Jimmy's out. Nate Hobbs, Roderick Teamer. For the Bears, you have Travis Homer, Darnell Wright, Dan Freeney, Yannick Ngokee, Eddie Jackson. And then as far as your spread, you're going to have the Raiders by 3. 37.5 is your over-under. So, yeah. As much as I'd like to say that the Raiders would win this with Brian, I don't think so. I'm going to have to go Bears at home. And, yeah, I'll take the Bears by a field goal. I think it'll be a good game, without a doubt. Shout out to you, Richard. Let's go, yo. Jimmy Gunn's in the building. Talk nicely to me about the Raider is a win this weekend. I gotta go. Bears at home. I just have to. You know, Jimmy's out, Fields is out, so I gotta go. I gotta go Bears. Yeah, even game, Bears by 3. Raiders win could be the end of Jimmy G. I mean, could it really? Right? Because could it really be the end of Jimmy G? I just feel like he's so marketable that no matter what, someone will pick him up. That's what I just feel like. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to go Bears by 3 at home. All right, next up. Browns and the Colts. Basically the same situation. I mean, Anthony Richardson's out. Deshaun Watson, he's having his injury issues. I mean, it's been a really, really tough year as far as for injuries. But 3-2 for the Browns, 3-3 for the Colts. This is going to be a 1 p.m. game. 60% for the Browns, 39.7% for the Colts. I love you, Luta. So yeah, I mean, what happens here, right? It's really going to boil down to the Browns' defense. And with that said, these guys are only allowing 79 on the rushing, 143 on the passing. Some will say, and we've been talking about this, that the Browns have the top defense, top 3. I still say top 5. I'm still going to keep to that. But they are at the top of their game. They are at the top of the NFL with their defense, and they are no joke. So Cleveland Browns are going to be favored by 2.5. Over under is 40. I'm going to go ahead and feel safe with taking them again this week as far as over these Colts, especially what they did to the 49ers. Granted, that game was close. But yeah, Browns defense is no joke. I'm going to take them by 7, ladies and gentlemen. So Browns by 7 against those Colts. Next up, got my Bills Mafia and the Patriots. Bills 4-2, Patriots 1-5, 82.3% for the Bills, 17.6% for the Patriots. Now, here's the thing. I will be streaming this game. You guys know 1 o'clock games, 4 o'clock games are kind of tricky because of the whole thing that's been going on YouTube on Sundays because they got the Sunday ticket. So I will be streaming this game at 1, and then obviously Sunday night, that's going to be the schedule. But there you go. Getting into the injuries. Greg Russo, Allen, who is questionable, but he'll be fine. He'll be playing. Ed Oliver is going to be questionable. Quentin Morris, Dane Jackson. And then for the Patriots, Sean Wade, DeMario Douglas, Ramondre Stevenson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Tyrone Wheatley is on IR. Getting into the spread, you've got the Bills by 8.5, over under 41. I'm a Bills fan. Bills by $1 billion. You already know how that goes. And yeah, Patriots are in tank mode anyway, so there you go. Jan says Bills by 14. Eric says Bills by 10. Really? Really? My goodness. What is going on? All right. We need more than that, sir. This is the Patriots. Calm down. Calm down. All right, next up, we got your Commanders and the Giants. Commanders 3-3, Giants 1-5. 61.4% for the Commanders, 38.3% for the Giants. Now, listen. You got Tyrod Taylor in there. He's getting yelled at by Brian Dable, just like Daniel Jones was. I mean, maybe Dable's looking to just take out all his frustrations out on the quarterbacks because, they are making rookie mistakes out there. We wouldn't expect that from Tyrod Taylor. But, hey, with that said, they played a tight, strong game against the Bills. And, yeah, it's been really, really interesting to see what the Bills are doing right now. And we need to change some things up. But we'll obviously get into that on Sunday. But, yeah, Commanders, 61.4%. Sam Howell doing his thing, 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Robinson on the running game, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then McLaurin with 342 on the receiving with 1 touchdown. As far as the injuries, Jonathan Allen, Cameron Curl, Kendall Fuller, Chris Paul, and James Smith-Williams are questionable. For the Giants, Graham Gano, Cordell Flott, Mark Lewinsky, Shane Lemieux, and Evan Neal are questionable. Your spread is going to be Washington by 2.5. Over-under is 39. I feel safe and comfortable with the Commanders taking the win here. But I think it's going to be a close game. Giants are, for some reason, stepping up on their defense. They're playing strong, playing tough. So, yeah, I'm going to go Commanders by 3 against these Giants. Next up, it's going to be the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Falcons, 47% on the matchup predictor. They are 3-3. The Buccaneers are 3-2, 52.6% at home on the matchup predictor. Baker Mayfield had a tough time against the Lions, and I think this will definitely be the revenge game. So he's got 1,088 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Ritter with 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Robinson, 401 yards on the rushing side. White with 232 and 1 touchdown. Mike Evans, 386 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then Drake London with 329 and 2 touchdowns. Getting into the injuries for the Falcons, nothing on the report. For the Buccaneers, you got Anthony Nelson and Vita Vea questionable. As far as the spread goes, Tampa Bay is favored by 2.5 at home. Over-under is 37.5. And yeah, I think that's safe, but I'm going to go ahead and take 14. I'm going to give them 14 points. Buccaneers at home by 14. So there you go. Next up, Lions and Ravens. And this is one of the games that I think we're going to be paying much attention to. These Lions, who I have number 1 this week on the matchup predictor, coming in at 5-1. Baltimore, who's been playing great offense and okay defense, obviously 4-2. 45.7% for your Lions, 53.9% for the Ravens, which is really interesting because people still are sleeping on the Lions. I don't get it. And I'm not saying that the Ravens aren't doing their thing, but if you're not paying attention to what these Lions are doing, you are going to get stepped on. Goff coming in with 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Lamar Jackson with 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Also on the rushing side with 327 and 4 touchdowns. Flowers with 367 yards and 1 touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown balling with 455 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then you got Montgomery with 385 yards and 6 touchdowns. This team is different this year. They are different. As far as the injury report, Gibbs is going to be questionable. Sam Laporte is questionable. Craig Reynolds and Frank Ragnow, as well as our Gardner Johnson. And then for your Ravens, Tyus Bowser, Marcus Williams, Odefo Owa, Jadeveon Clowney, and Malik Harrison. As far as the spread goes, you got Baltimore favored by 3. Over-under is 43. I'm going Lions by a touchdown. I do think, obviously, the Ravens are a good team. They've been playing great. They just have not been consistent. And this Lions team, they're going to make you work for it. And I definitely think they're going to take the win in this one. So I'm going to go Lions by 7. So there you go. Next up, we got the Steelers and the Rams. I think this will be a good one. I think this is close, evenly matched. 3-2 Steelers, 3-3 Rams, 41% for the Steelers, 58% for the Rams. Kenny Pickett, who's been having a tough time this season, 1,027 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Matt Stafford, 1,600 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Williams on the rushing with 456 yards, 6 touchdowns. Harris with 247 yards. Pickens, 393 yards, 2 touchdowns on the receiving side. And Nicola, 598 yards, 2 touchdowns. On the injury report, Deontay Johnson, Anthony McFarland, and DeMarvin Leal are out. For the Rams, Joe Noteboom, Laurel Murchison, Kyron Williams, and Ronnie Rivers is IR. Does Joe ever play football? He's always out. I feel like he's always out. Getting into the spread, Rams are favored by 3. Over-under is 44. I do feel like the Steelers' defense is way better right now than the Rams, even though they're at home. Yes, you could talk about Aaron Donald. You could talk about everyone else. But just like the same thing everybody else, the O-line, they're banged up. Their defense, they're having issues as well. I think the Steelers will pull this off. It's going to be a close match, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Steelers by 3 there. Next up, Cardinals versus the Seahawks. I love the Seahawks. I like them. They're great. Great offense, amazing defense. They're another team that I think has definitely been under the radar. 1-5 for your Cardinals, 3-2 for the Seahawks, 20.2% for the Cardinals, 79.6% for the Seahawks. I did see an article saying that Kyler Murray is back practicing, so you may see him back soon. But for right now, you got Dobbs in with 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Geno Smith with 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I think they're coming off of a bye week, so they're rested. I definitely think they're going to be ready to go against these Cardinals who have been surprising, but the Seahawks are the Seahawks. As far as the injury report, Elijah Higgins, Jesse Lukita, Jalen Thompson, Kyler Murray, Budda Baker are out. Cody Bryant, Jake Curhan, Abraham Lucas, and Artie Burns and Damian Lewis out for the Seahawks. Getting into the spread, Seahawks favored by 8. 44.5 is your over-under. And yeah, I'm fine giving them a touchdown. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Seahawks by 7. So there you go. Next up, we got the Packers and the Broncos. 56.8% for Green Bay, 42.8% for Denver. There's been talks as far as Russell Wilson's not going to be with the Broncos next year and all kinds of stuff, whether or not he's going to get dropped and before the guarantees come in 2025. So with that said, I really do think we're probably going to see a change of, Russell Wilson. You know how they do. When there's talks and discussions and conversations about performance, that's when you see people step up a little bit and go out there and try their hardest just to say, hey, I'm still me. I'm still me. With that said, looking at the spread, Green Bay is favored by 1 point. The over-under is 45. As far as your injury report, you have Zane Anderson, questionable, Devondre Campbell, Aaron Jones, Elton Jenkins, and Devontae Wyatt. And then for the Broncos, you have Greg Dulcich, Kareem Jackson, and Justin Simmons. I'm going to take Denver at home. I know I probably shouldn't. They're going to probably let me down. But I just feel like with all the talk in the news, it's going to have Russell fired up. He's going to find a way to win at home. Denver will go 2-5, and Green Bay will go 2-4. So there you go. I'm going to take Denver, but I'm taking them by 3. All right, next up. Chargers and Chiefs. This is another one that I'm very, very excited about because obviously the Chargers coming off of that loss. KC 5-1, who has been just skating by, like I've been telling you guys. You can go look at the wins. Yes, they're wins, and we're not going to discredit the wins, but they've been very close games, and every team they've played has kept them under 25 points. Chargers, they can score. And I really, really think right now, from what we've seen and the issues that Patrick Mahomes has had with his offense as far as getting that chemistry back, yeah, we know that connection between him and Kelsey is great, but what happens when the well runs dry? I do think this is going to be more closely matched than the Cowboys game because KC doesn't have the same kind of defense that the Cowboys does. So I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to go the Chiefs, or I'm going to go the Chargers. You see that, right? You see that? I faked you out right there. I'm going to go the Chargers, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to go 3-3 and give Chiefs their second loss. It's going to be a dogfight, but I'm going to go something surprising here. I'm going to go Chargers by 14. Yeah. Remember I said somebody's going to be mad at me? Yeah. I'm going Chargers by 14. I think this is going to be the comeback game. Herbert's going to ball out. Because there was a lot of talks about this man and people saying that he wasn't who people thought that he was and, he's not a great quarterback. And listen, Herbert, I definitely think is underrated. I think we don't appreciate his game, obviously, because he has a bad game. And, people just don't realize that, obviously, if you don't have a strong defense and you don't have a solid O-line that gives you time back there, guess what? You're going to get hit. You're going to take some sacks. But that doesn't deny the fact that the kid has talent and he can go out there and win. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers by 14 at Arrowhead. I said it. You heard it here first. All right. Next up. Ooh, this one, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. This one has been the talk for the last week, even before the Jets game. I've been trying to tell you Eagles fans that the defense on the Jets was real and the offense of the Dolphins is real as well. And guess what? We are here. The Eagles lost. I called it. And now I'm calling the loss against the Dolphins as well. Get mad. Get upset. It's totally fine. But you have to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Before I get into the spread and the odds and all that, I'm going to jump straight on down. We're going to jump straight on down to the last 5 here, okay? We're going to look at the last 5 wins for Miami. They won against Carolina, 42-21. They won against the Giants, 31-16. They took a loss to the Bills, right? Divisional rival opponents, 48-20. They took a win to Denver, 70-20. They took a win against the Patriots, 24-17. Now, pay specific attention to this Patriots game, all right? We're going to flip over to your Eagles now. They just lost to the Jets, 20-14. They won against the Rams, 23-14, which you could say that's a one-score game. Won against Washington in overtime, 34-31, another one-score game. Took the win against Tampa Bay, 25-11. Minnesota, 34-28, one-score game. We're missing another one here. One second. 1 second. Here we go. Patriots, 25-20. One score game. What do you see here? And I keep telling you guys, yes, they're winning, but these wins have been weak. And then when you play against an actual defense or a high-powered offense that can actually score, then guess what? You're going to get a game where if you don't match them in scoring, they're going to win. So, getting into the spread. Philly's favored by 2.5. Now, listen, if Philly was as dynamic and as dominant as some of you fans think that they are, the spread would not be 2.5. The over-under would not be 52. Vegas and the bookmakers are calling for a high-scoring game. Who's been scoring the most points? I mean, we don't have to go by that, but hey, you know the answer to it. Now we can get into the matchup predictor. 58.5% for Miami, 41.2% for the Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just the one saying this, but I've been saying it for weeks before we even got to this point. Round of applause for Jay. Round of applause for Jay. I got to bring out the FX for y'all because I'm trying to give y'all a masterclass tonight in regards to why I make my predictions the way that I do. And I'm not just hating, all right? I'm not just hating. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tua Tagovailoa, 1,876 yards, 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, 1,542 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. But it wasn't his fault. Listen, it doesn't matter if it's his fault or not. This is the thing. When you start throwing that ball, right, whether it's tipped, whether it's bobbled, when the ball leaves your hands, the job is for you to put that ball in the receiver's hands. And guess what? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Jalen Hurts is not an elite player, but he has been making mistakes, and we've seen those mistakes in the Jets game. And when I told you guys time and time again, he has not been playing up to his true potential, just like Patrick Mahomes. You wanted to fight me. You got mad at me. You told me to shut up. Well, here we are. 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Getting into the rushing yards, Swift with 452 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's been balling. A-Chain as well, 460 yards, 5 touchdowns. On the receiving side, Tyreek Hill, 814 yards, 6 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 672 yards, 2 touchdowns. Getting into the injury report, Chris Brooks, Xavier Howard, Alec Ingold, Kader Kahu, Jeff Wilson are out for the Dolphins. For the Eagles, Jalen Carter, Darius Slay, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Milton Williams are out for the Eagles. We know that the spread is, 1 second here, there we go, 2.5 for the Eagles, 52 is the over-under. I hate to do this to you Eagles fans, but I got to keep it real. I got to keep it real. I am going to go Dolphins. I'm going to go Dolphins by 14. Ooh, Jay, I can't believe you just said that. You gave the Dolphins 14 points. Listen, your defense is having issues. You guys have injuries just like everyone else. The Dolphins are going to score. And if you cannot stop the bleeding, they're not going to wait until the second half to start scoring. They're going to score in the first half. They're going to score in the second half. And guess what? We're looking at a high-scoring game, and I'm taking the Dolphins by 14. So there it is. There it is. Shout out to Big Homie Fredo. I bet you won't say Lions going to beat my Ravens. Be aware, people. OBJ will go off next week. What did I already say? What did I already say? I call Lions over the Ravens. Stop sleeping on them, sir. Stop sleeping on the Ravens and the Lions. Like how I did that? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, of course, this game, I will be streaming it Sunday night. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Absolutely pandemonium. So, make sure that you do subscribe if you have not. It's going to be a fun time. Prime time, Sunday night, Dolphins and Eagles. It's going to be crazy. We're going to have all kinds of people on the channel wilding out. So, Wrench Gang, that'll probably be a more relaxed game as we get into it. So you don't have to go as crazy as far as modding the channel and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just letting you guys know, giving you guys a quick heads up. It's going to get crazy. You not only have Dolphins fans, but we're going to have Eagles fans. And I've been dealing with the Eagles fans all week. If you've been on Facebook and you've seen the post that I made, I think it's got like 250 comments now. And people have just been going crazy on me over my predictions and wilding out. I've had to put a couple people in their place. I had to get besides myself. I had some people in the DMs going nuts, and I had to handle it like, listen, you want to keep it football, or we can get into some other stuff, but keep it football. Keep it football, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it football when you hit them DMs. That's all I got to say. But it's all love. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do. But, yeah, Wrench Mods, it'll be relaxed Sunday night, and it's going to be a good time. So there you go. Last but not least, we got your Monday night. 49ers and Vikings. 49ers obviously taking the L to the Browns. Vikings losing as well. But yeah, 69.8% for the 49ers, 30% for the Vikings. I think this is going to be a complete blowout for these 49ers coming back with a vengeance. McCaffrey and Deebo Samuels were not too bad, so they will be back, it looks like, this week, hopefully. So, yeah. 69.8% for the 49ers, 30% for the Vikings. Getting into the matchup predictor, San Francisco by 7, over-unders 44. And, yeah, I got to go 49ers on this just because, you're not going to see them lose twice in a row, especially to the Vikings. I love the Vikings, but it's just not going to happen right now. So there you go. So that's going to be Week 7 predictions, ladies and gentlemen. And we knocked it out in 20 minutes. There you go. There you go. Shout out to Lutz that says, oh no, I might get my hand slapped again. Don't do that. Don't do that, Lutz. Don't do that. ESV Mass is a very nice percent for the 49ers. Yeah. I mean, it's just realistic. It's realistic. Duke says Colts season is over. Yeah, it sucks because I had high expectations for Anthony Richardson. He went out there, he was balling, he was looking great. And it's really unfortunate that he went out the way that he did because it just seemed like he was on a great trajectory, right? He was going up. He was like a rocket. And, it was like, him and C.J. Stroud were, the talk. Like, who's going to, do great out of these rookies. And, unfortunately, Anthony Richardson went down and, he's done for the season. So, hopefully he gets better. He heals properly and he can come back, next season and do what he needs to do and be great. So, yeah. Also, there was news as far as Aaron Rodgers coming back faster than he should have. I really think that's just hype and propaganda. I don't really think this man's coming back that fast. It's one of the worst injuries you can get. It's career ending. So, yeah, with him saying that he's going to come back and all this other stuff, I just think that's more hype and morale for the team to keep them going and keep them fired up and keep them pumped up for Zach Wilson. And if he does come back, I guarantee you it'll be because the Jets just miraculously get to the playoffs and they're like, all right, Aaron, get your ass in here because we're in the playoffs. And, yeah, I could see that happening. But even then, I think it's a slim chance. Without a doubt. Shout out to you guys. 58 viewers, 23 likes. Can we get to at least 45, ladies and gentlemen? Make sure you hit that like, that thumbs up. It is much appreciated. I do thank you all for the support rocking with us tonight. Duke says, agree, Jay? Yeah, without a doubt. Ludus says, boo. Rodgers needs a frog out of the games. All right. Duke says, hopium. Yeah. I mean, listen, guess what? Your top quarterback says that he's coming back soon. That's going to keep people fired up, right? That's a reason to go out there and fight more and, protect Zach Wilson. Like, all right, we're going to make sure that Wilson's good so, Rodgers can come back and we can win a Super Bowl, right? That's just the thought of it. Shout out to you, Demidge. So, yeah. Sheila says, don't count Minshew out. I don't. But it's tough. It's tough. TB says, need the Ravens to win. 4 straight. Action Jackson. It's going to be a game. But the way that the Lions are playing, I just don't see it happening, my friend. I don't see it happening. I think the Lions are going to take it. Sassy says it's all hype. It's hype. It's hype. Richard says, great, Jay. While you're in the Hall of Fame, I'm going for it. I'm trying to get there, man. Trying to get there. I'm trying to get on the shrine and have my name up on the wall and, get that jacket. Of course, I'll have to make my own jacket one day, or one of you guys can make it for me or something like that, or you guys will come together and make Jay a Hall of Fame jacket. But, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Richard, no reason to risk it. Yeah, don't risk coming back and hurting yourself, for the sake of, just trying to go out there and win something that, you may or may not be able to get, because it could be totally over if you go down the wrong way or if you get hit or something like that. So, yeah. Shout out to you, Philip. Says my cap locks never get stuck. Let's go. All right, y'all. So, yeah, that's going to be the Week 7 predictions. Obviously, tomorrow night's going to be Jags and the Saints. I got to go eat because I am starving. And, shout out to you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure you hit that like, that thumbs up, and, of course, subscribe to the channel. Much love to the Wrench Gang. Much love to the family, all the listeners, all the watchers. And you have yourself a great, great evening, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Peace out. Duke, Friday, man. Got the tickets. 12 p.m. Going to see it at 12 p.m. And excited for it. It's going to be fun. So there you go. All right, ladies.